अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभਉ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज, गुरु नानक साहब हजूर, धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब सच्चे पातशाह। भूल छिमो हमरी प्रभापन, भूलनहार कहाँ को मोसो। हवाए बंदगी आवुर दर वजूद मरा, वगरने ज़ौक़ की चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। गमचे बाशद गफलत तज याद खुदा, चीस शादी याद बेमतहा। गुरा एक दे बुझाई, सबना जियां का एक दाता, सो में विसर न जाई। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। जपजी साहब दी विचार चलती है महाराज। वी आर डिस्कसिंग द बानी ऑफ जपजी। वी हैव क्रॉस्ड 4 pauris. Pauri meaning every step. Today we look at the 5th pauri. Every pauri is like a revelation. It's like a step to understanding more about myself. One way in which I look at life is always through my own personal identity. I only know life through myself. That's how I see life. But what is the relationship between this identity and the Creator? And where is it that I will find rest and peace in life? Within this identity, or is it beyond this identity? Ego is another way of my calling this an identity. I am is how we all look at life, through our personal benefits. If we lose something in a business transaction, relationship, or even in our day-to-day affairs, then we don't do that. We try and gain in everything. That is how survival is. Man ensured his survival through being selfish. So we have seen that man now dominates this earth. The human species dominates the earth, and all other species are threatened, extinct, or in trouble. Is this the best relationship possible between us and our surroundings? If I for a minute say my surroundings is partly a part of me, my surroundings are also something I depend on. When the AIDS virus came about, there was a lot of research in trying to find solutions to the disease. And in medical terms, it's called bioprospecting. They go into nature, they take samples of trees, animals, everything they find in nature, and they try and see if any of them has a solution to the disease. In Africa, there is a tree called the lundi tree. And they found that the AIDS virus had a solution in the lundi tree. But by the time they found this and went back, the tree was extinct. So this is how we interact with our environment and are dependent on the environment. And some mistakes we make knowing that this is not part of us. And we destroy that part. It's part of us, or ourselves we destroy. What I'm trying to say is that the relationship between me and nature is maybe misunderstood by us, and we look at life only as us being the center of life. But are we the center of life? And maybe that relationship, if gone wrong, can threaten the human race in the long run, which it actually is doing right now. The Earth's temperature will go up by 3 degrees. And we are seeing what havoc it causes. We have seen recently in Spain, entire cities destroyed, people dying, streets full of water and dirt, typhoons coming in certain parts of the world. This is the nature on steroids, and we have put it on steroids. We have assumed ourselves to be the center of creation. But if you look at Guru Nanak's Bani, in every parable, in every line, in every pada, in every paragraph, every pauri, you will find one clear statement that we are not the center of the creation. And the center of creation is to be known by us, and knowing it will establish a relationship between me and my Creator. Actually, this is a one-way street. I will never meet the Creator. I is a temporary, transient phenomena. Only when the I goes does the Creator's presence get established. So in this way, maybe I have misunderstood my relationship with my Creator, and I am in the process of trying to make it worse for myself when I keep saying I am the center of creation. That means I put myself always before every decision I make. And this is what Guru Nanak is saying is not as per hukam. Nanak hukme je bujhe, taho mein kahe na koi. Only when this relationship between me and hukam is established clearly will the me go away and I've understood the hukam. This does not mean that I take the entire environment I am in and don't make any changes to it. Doesn't mean that. This is a more esoteric concept. It has more to do with my spirituality, my state of mind. In the physical terms, if there is an issue and we need to sort it out, that is a different plane of existence. We often make this mistake of confusing two planes of existence. We bring the spiritual into the physical plane and make our physical action weaker. But maybe that's a misunderstanding. The example of Galileo on how he said that the earth is not the center of the universe. It is not the center of solar system. And the religion at that time got so offended that they killed him. This is the ego. The ego wants to exist even when it destroys the other. So we want to destroy the other's opinion, not debate, discuss or discourse it, but we want to destroy it. The ego wants complete control. And so Galileo was killed for the thought of the earth being not the center of creation. And the earth is not the center of creation, we know that. But this is how we also use religion. We often use religion to subjugate our own spirituality and become a hindrance to our own growth. My growth, human growth, society's growth. But I would like to invite you to look at the Pauri which we discourse on or discuss and see what is the inherent direction Guru is taking in the Pauri, in every line. Whom is he addressing? What is he facing? What is he looking at? Where is his attention? Because that is where our attention should be if we want to follow him. In the whole Guru Granth Sahib, there is no history of the Gurus. There is no personal lives being shared. There is no discussion on how great the Guru himself is. Then what is the Guru Granth talking about? Where is the light of the Guru Granth falling? The Guru brings a concept forth for Shabad. When he says Shabad Guru Surtatun Jela. What is Shabad? In today's Pauri also there is a line about the Nads, Gurmukh Nadang. So Shabad being the defined Shabad in the Guru Granth we are aware of. If we read it, we understand it, discourse it, we understand the meaning in it. But the Shabad may have other dimensions to it. And those dimensions have to do with the concept of the Creator. There is an aspect of life which we see, but there is an aspect we don't see. So it is called Nira-akar and Sakar. Sakar being the form and Nir-akar being formless. We look at form, shape, name, defined patterns, those as our part of life, as our life. But there is another aspect of life which is completely undefined, which is not in the realm of being able to see in the senses, hear, or touch, feel. It's not in that realm. Yet the mind has the ability to explore that realm. Guru Nanak, Guru Amar Das calls it Devdrishti, seeing the unseen. And what is it that the Guru is pointing us towards, encouraging us to explore and understand? We must keep our focus there. That will help us understand our own spirituality and Guru Nanak's message to us. Today we explore the fifth Pauri. And let me take out the fifth Pauri. And in this Pauri, Guru talks about, again, what he has been talking about all along, the Creator. His focus, center, is all about the Creator. It's not about anything else. The fifth Pauri of the JAPJI. Jap meaning to meditate on Shabad. So the Shabad, which is the unseen Shabad, let me complete that thought, is the Nirankar, the Creator himself. He is the source of the Shabad which we recite in the Guru Granth. The form of the Shabad and the formless. And the Guru defines this. He says, Jaisi mein aave khasam ki bani. This is not mine. As it comes to me, so I deliver it. Taisada kari gyan velalu. Bani, Guru, Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sari. That's the reason Guru Nanak insists that anybody who has ever got connected to his source, to the Creator, has always done it through Shabad. It doesn't necessarily mean Guru Granth as Shabad, but it means the formless Shabad. And that may have its representations in many different aspects of creation, different religions in different ways. We know that the Sufis have a meditation on the Shabad, Allahu. That is also Shabad. In fact, there is a very beautiful story about Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi in his Masnavi, where the people are talking about reciting the word very accurately, necessarily. And this discourse Rumi hears. And the parable says that as he goes as the person who is teaching all this goes into a boat and into the lake, they see this other spiritual person walk on water and go and whisper in his ear when he's in this boat. Maulana Rumi talks about spirituality in cryptic ways. You need to figure it out. What he's showing in this couplet, the 4 lines which he recites, is that the knower is more relevant. He knows the Shabad. And he goes over water. That means he is more powerful, he is more spiritual, he is more awakened than the one who is teaching him. And he whispers in his ear and runs away. This Shabad is what we have to focus on. And what will focus on the Shabad? The Surt will focus on the Shabad. The focused mind will find rest in Shabad. And what does Shabad do? Shabad destroys our ego. Home Shabad jalai. There is a wall between us and our Creator, and that is the ego. The ego is the reason we exist. So this is a dilemma, a conflict, so to say, because our absolute existence itself is the wall between us and our Creator. And in the Asa Divar, Guru Nanak explains this, and he says, Home buje, taan dar suje. He asks this question, where does ego come from? Home kitho upje, kit sanjam hai jaye. Maharaj says, home eho hukam hai, paiye kirt phiraye. This is his order, and this is what makes the entire world revolve and work on itself and keep revolving and changing. But he says, limiting ourselves to the ego and not being able to go beyond it is our major dilemma. It's our disease. It's the reason for all my conflicts within my mind. Let's explore this a little. When I am born, I am given a name and identity. I have given a teaching, direction, told by my environment, my parents, what to work on. And I work on it diligently, thinking I will get the best results. So I reinforce the I. A child laughs much more easily than a teenager. A teenager laughs better than a middle-aged person. A middle-aged laughs even better than a grown-up. A reason is because the ego gets more and more fixated and takes more control of ourselves. And we limit our experience of the world through the ego. And ego is the reason for our pain. It's the reason for our existence, and it's the reason for our pain. So this is a conflict. This makes us wander, makes us search, makes us keep exploring, and frustrates us. This question Guru Nanak has posed right in the beginning of the Guru Granth, and he has addressing it in every pauri. Let me recite the fifth pauri, and then we will go into what he is saying. But keep your focus on what I said. What is the Guru Nanak facing? What is he talking about? Whom is he addressing? Where is his attention? Always the Nirankar. Thapya na jaye, kita na hoye. आपे आप निरंजन सोए, जिन सेविया तिन पाया मान, नानक गाविए गुणी निदान। गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाओ, दुख पर हर सुख कर ले जाए। गुरमुख नादन गुरमुख वेदन, गुरमुख रहा समाई। गुर ईसर गुर गोरख बर्मा गुर पार्वती माई। जय हों जाना आखा नहीं, कहना कथन न जाई। गुरा एक दे बुझाई, सबना जियां का एक दाता, सो मैं विसर न जाई। If we are very careful in contemplating this Shabad, contemplating Guru Nanak's Bani, we will see he destroys the ego. His entire focus is the Creator, as though he himself is not his ego. He lives the life through his ego, but the ego is not something which is his hindrance to looking at and reacting at the Creator. So the ease with which he goes into the mind where he is not, where the ego is not, is the ease of our relationship, his relationship with his Guru, with his God, with his Creator. That's the reason he talks about fearlessness. There is nothing to lose. That's the reason he doesn't have any malice, anger or hatred towards the other. All that there is to gain in creation, he has gained it all. Maharaj explains to us the nature of the Creator and how we, as individuals, can know this relationship. And this is not a mere talking or a discussion where we explore a relationship in the thought. Guru in the JAPJI itself has defined Creator to be beyond thought. And the two possibilities of life. One is going into the cycle of karma, of doing right and wrong. And other is the cycle of another where the Shabad dominates our life. Where the wealth of creation is within our man, within us, our grasp. What is the wealth? Nandlal talks about Daulat. He says, Daulat, Javed, Bashad, Bandagi. Javed word means forever. The wealth which is forever is Bandagi. Focusing on the Creator and dropping the ego. He says, Bandagi, kun bandagi. All your life, do this. And you will know the Creator and life in its reality. We don't know life in its reality. We know only the ego life which we live. So this conditioning which we have nurtured all our lives, reinforced through our name, education, society, social structures, this is all the part of our ego. So when Maharaj in the last Pauri invited us to sit in the early hours of the morning and meditate on the Shabad. Amrit vela sachnao vadiyai Vichar. He invites us to drop the ego in the relationship of the Shabad. Where vibrancy of the Shabad is where our man exists, and we no longer are bound by the limitations of the I. And on the conflicts, the insecurities, all the negativity within me gets healed in this process. Karmi ave kapda nadri mokh dwar. And he invites us to live the life of Nadar. Nadar is actually in English defined as grace. But Nadar to me means a presence, living in the presence of the Creator and understanding that the Creator is the center of the universe, not me. He is the giver and he keeps giving, he says. Denda de lende thak paye. Who am I? I am a temporary creation of the Creator himself. A play, so to say. And my time to merge with him has come. When the Siddhs ask Guru Nanak, Kavan mool, kavan matvela. What is the mool, the basis, the foundation, the root of creation? And what is this time which we have got life for? What is it for? Maharaj says Shabad Guru is, after the answer is Shabad Guru later, but before that he says, Pavan Aram Satgur Matvela. This is the time to find the Guru. To find that which is beyond me, beyond my ego, beyond the structure of life I know. And that is not found in looking outside. It will not be found by seeking happiness, sources of happiness in the life I know. One thing is certain, that none of us can live without ras, without having a stimulant. And these stimulants can vary. So some of us look at education and feel inspired by education. Some of us feel happy in music, some in dancing. Whatever we may find as our expression. And then we go deeper into it because we see that as a reinforcement of ourselves. So the ego is always seeking a reinforcement of itself. So if somebody appreciates my knowledge of physics, then I'll start liking physics because I'm getting appreciated for physics. That's what guides our life, the ego. So this is ras, this is stimulation we are getting. And when we don't get any stimulation, we try and seek physical stimulants, which are harmful for our spiritual life. Whatever the form of stimulant. It could be drinks, could be drugs. There are so many stimulants. But this is a necessary aspect of my ego. I need some stimulation. The sadhu, the Guru Granth guides us towards another stimulation. A stimulant of love which comes from our spirit, from our Atma, which exists in the Creator himself, the knowledge of the Creator. So, in the last Pauri, Maharaj says, Pakhya Pao Apar. The language of God is love. Only when we find this love, do we really find the Atmic stimulation, stimulation which exists in our spirit, in our Atma. So that's where the word Atam Ras comes when I say Atam Ras. So there is a stimulation, a ras, an anand, a joy, a happiness within our soul, within our spirit. And that is its natural state of being. You don't need to do anything for it. You need to know it. It's naturally like that. But we seek this in the physical, and that is our conflict. So ego and the creator, this relationship doesn't get solved by us easily. And that's why we wander. That's why we suffer. That's why we are in pain. If I know that I am in a house where the owner of the house is known to me, will take care of me, nurtures me, loves me, then I will be happy in that house. But I don't know that. I look at this house as my creation, and that I need to nurture myself, and I need to figure out this house and take ownership of it. In reality, that is the pain we suffer. We don't own this life through the ego. The Creator Himself has created it. And we are like a droplet in the ocean, merge back into the ocean. In the fifth body, Guru Sahib talks about establishing the Creator. Do I have the ability to establish the Creator? If I have the ability to establish the Creator, the one who has brought this whole creation, then he or she is subservient to me, to ego, because I can create or destroy it. So Maharaj is educating us about what the Creator and who the Creator is, and how that relationship is defined with me. He says, I don't have the ability to establish the Creator. Thapya na jaye. Cannot do it. We often hear people talking about establishing an idol, establishing God through that idol. Guru Nanak doesn't agree with that at all. He says, we cannot establish the Creator. Kita na hoy. I cannot create the Creator. Kita na hoy. Ape aap niranjan soy. See, Maharaj is always resting with that niranjan. Niranjan word means an eye with no blackness. Niranjan. So, completely pure. Maharaj talks about the Creator, who is forever and we cannot establish Him. He establishes us. Thapya na jaye, kita na hoy, ape aap niranjan soy. I don't accept this, or I accept it. This changes and defines my life. This is the hukum. Hukmi hovan akar, hukum na keha jai. This is His order. This is the Creator Himself, face to face with whoever can see or know or feel Him. We can't do that because we have this instrument of the ego which we play, and that we keep reinforcing all our lives, and we don't go beyond this ego. So is ego wrong? Ego by itself is not wrong, but limiting our experience of life to the ego itself, that's the problem. That's our pain. If we solve this, we can solve what is death, what is birth, what is life. We can solve our relationship to happiness. We can solve the conflicts. So we solve everything in this one relationship of our lives, where I go beyond the ego. And you see in the last line, Guru Nanak Sahib in this Pauri says, Gura ek de bujai. This one thing, let it percolate to my senses, beyond my ego, let it percolate to within my man, every part of my being. Experience this, bujai. Sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. I never forget this aspect, that the Creator is the one who is everybody's creator. Ik data, the giver in this whole creation is only one. This is the relationship Guru Nanak is wanting us to establish within ourselves. Gura ek de bujai, sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. Let's not forget this. Let's experience it, bujai. Not intellectually only, but every ounce of our man experiences and lives the Creator's presence. And that can happen only when I go beyond my ego, where I am not. Savna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. So I should have this focus within my man, within my dhyan, that the Creator is. And this is Guru Nanak's prayer to the Creator, to the ultimate Guru. Thapya na jaye, kita na hoye, ape aap niranjan soye. Jin sevya tin paya maan. If there is a form to the Guru, then I know how to serve him. If there's a person, I know I can serve a person. And in the Guru Granth, that service is also defined. He talks about this service when he says that I give him, provide water, I do his daily chores for him. That's the service I do for a sant, for an actual person who I assume to be connected to the Creator. But how do I serve the formless? How do I focus on the formless, the one who is without form? He has no form, no shape. Then how can I serve him? By what method? Here service becomes a simran, becomes service. My Shabad Dhyan becomes service. Because in the Shabad Dhyan, only he is, I am not. When an individual serves some other person, then the one who is serving, his attention is towards the person he is serving. So his reality, his complete attention is the person he is serving. A waiter in a restaurant, when he is serving us, he holds his towel or his cloth within his hand, he stands in attention, he's always looking at us. What is the next order? What is my next need? How do I serve this individual? So he's not focusing on himself, but on us when he's serving us. Similarly, when I serve my Creator, I focus my attention on my Creator. That's the service I do. And that's the service I do myself also, because that's how I understand the real world, the real life, the real source of my existence. And the conflicts are gone then. Jin sevya tin paya maan. Those who focus on the Creator and do simran of the Creator, they are the ones who really understand what is life. They are the powerful ones, the elated ones. They are the recognized ones. It doesn't necessarily mean society recognizes them. May not happen. Or it may happen. but they are the ones who all creation is rejoicing with. Maybe unseen to us because the ego world sees only the physical form. So here my search for Guru is physical, my need to find a person as a Guru. But I don't know what is happening within the person, whether he is really a Guru or not. Maharaj says, Guru is only he who can give me naam. Pure gurte naam paya jaye. Satgur ke janme gaman mitaya. When we meet the Guru, wandering goes away and we find a new life. This is the new life, where we are now looking at a new center of creation. Not me, but the Creator. Everything has changed. Nothing has changed physically, but everything about the way I look at life changes. Jin sevya tin paya man. When I am in Simran, when I am in Dhyan of Shabad, then I have found the essence of life. And in that essence, Nanak gaviye guni nidan, I am actually celebrating the real wealth of creation. In the JAPJI, in the end, Maharaj calls this wealth the taksal. Kadiye Shabad sachi taksal, jinko nadar karam tinkar. Those who recite the Shabad within their man, know the Shabad, know the experience of Shabad. So it's not merely recitation on the verbal sense, but much deeper. A complete transformation of my man through Shabad. How does that happen? Maharaj points out that the Shabad reforms the man, takes away the ego from the man, and this is called Kadna. Tithe Kadiye Surt, and in the Shabad he says the Surt, Man, they all get cleansed. Kadiye Sura Siddha ki Sud. Surt Man Man Buddh. Karm Khand ki Bani Jor. तिथे होर न कोई होर. श्रम खंड की बाणी रूप, तिथे काढ़त कड़िए बहुत अनूप. ताकियां गलां कथियां न जाए, जे को कहे पिछे पछताए. तिथे कड़िए सुरत मत मन बुद्ध. My mind gets transformed. Everything about me changes. From the ego world, I go into the Creator's world, where my thought is cleansed to enter the realm where I am not. And only then I can proceed towards Sachkhand. So Maharaj talks about the Shabad cleansing my mind. And Maharaj says, Haume Shabad jalai. The ego is burnt by Shabad. In the presence of Shabad, I get prepared to meet my Creator, to rest in my Creator's realm. And the false world of ego is not my foundation anymore. My life's foundation is the Creator's foundation. So it's a permanent foundation. And in that way, it is unchanging, never destroyed. So it is secure, it is calm, it is full of joy. This is the Creator's world. Maharaj says, Nanak gaviye guni nidan. Nidan means wealth. This is the real wealth which I can really enjoy, live, experience, and it cannot be taken away from me. The worldly wealth I can experience. It is never complete in its experience. And it can be taken away from me at any time. Then Maharaj gives us one device. People go into yoga, do different kinds of Patanjali yoga, do different kind of penances for realizing the Creator. Maharaj gives us 2 lines to dedicate ourselves to. And the focus is always the Shabad. Always the Creator Himself. Maharaj says, Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao. As I sing the Shabad and as I listen to the Shabad, I go inward. People often ask, when I sit for part, my mind wanders. It will not wander if I can rest my thought in Shabad. And this is a very good test we can do. At the end of the day, do I rest my mind in Shabad, or is it going towards desire? This is the key. The more it goes into Shabad, the more it's preparing itself for the revelation of meeting the Nirankar, meeting the Creator. And the more it goes towards desire, the more it reinforces the ego. Desire can be of any form. Trishna, desire is one way in which ego exists. It needs Trishna and desire. And when the Shabad resides within me night and day, without a voluntary effort of doing it, then the actual work is happening. Jinko nadar karam tinkar. Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. So in my perception, this gana and sunna is a way of realizing the dhyan in my man. Because when I sing, I close my eyes and I listen. I have focused all my man energy onto Shabad. It can be the Mool Mantar, it can be any other Shabad I like. Then my dhyan is created. Without the dhyan, the Shabad's experience will not be revealed. Dhyan is like the vehicle, and Shabad is like the person in the vehicle, a chariot and a charioteer. We don't have this dhyan. Our mind is constantly wandering. So the experience of Shabad is not revealed to us. We often blame ourselves for our errors, our problems, our blemishes, the wrongs which we are inclined to do, the samskars which are hurting us. Guru says that this will all be sorted only to perfection when we meet the Shabad. Kant laye avgun sab mete, dayal puruk bakshant. Perfection nurtures perfection. We cannot create that perfection. The man is created in perfection by itself. I am only the source of the ego, the corruption in my man. And I cannot take away myself from the man. That all Guru does. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. This is the mint where wealth is created in our life. The ultimate wealth of life. Karna, this man is to be purified. Like we purify gold. And he talks about this in the 38th Pauri. Exactly like this. Jat Pahara Tirad Sunyar. He says Sunyar, the goldsmith. Patient goldsmith is what I need to become. Control my senses, Jat Pahara. That's my effort. Ahran Mat Vedathyar. Ahran Mat is the Dhyan Man, the Man in Dhyan, Man in its real essence, not wandering. Ved is the Shabad, Vedathyar. Pao Khala, the fear of life, is my stimulant. If we are fearful, don't drink it away. Allow the fear to transform you or transform ourselves. Don't drink your fears away. Use that energy of fear and let's use it to transform the man. Forever. To take us into a new realm of life. Where wandering is not the rule of law. Stability is. Ahran mat ved hathyar pao khala agan taptao. He says, make this your heater from where the heat is coming. The fear becomes the generator of heat. Tap. Focus on the Shabad and let it purify you. Panda pao. Then the real utensil of love is created. Amrit Tal, where Amrit is formed. Amrit takes us beyond death. Amrit takes us into realm of happiness forever, Anand. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. This is the realm of the goldsmith's mint, the man purified by Shabad. Jinko nadar karam tinkar. And they are the ones who are in Anand. Maharaj says, Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. Make this our meditation. Make this our yoga class. Make this our lesson somebody has given us. Let's sing the Shabad in love. And close our eyes from wandering outside. The mind doesn't go out and goes inward. Go into a new world. Dukh parhar sukh kar le jaye. The life of pain goes away. And a new life of Anand is revealed to us. Where there is no change, where my ego is dropped. And the Creator, I experience the Creator. And I am not. The Creator is. Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao dukh parhar sukh kar le jaye. This is what we are actually seeking. This is what we want. We are seeking it in the physical, but we want this happiness forever within ourselves. And going into Shabad, our dhyan will get established. And that's not a small thing. That's energy, focused. And if we want to understand the Creator, establish a relationship spiritual to us, then this dhyan is our tool. It's like the fuel in a car. Without that, nothing will move. One can transform that and use it in the ego. That's where black magic comes from. That's where all the pain comes from. We go back into the ego. More we reinforce our ego by any method, more we are separated from the Creator and from the Anand within us. Gurmukh Nadan, Gurmukh Vedan, Gurmukh Reha Samai. I do some videos, I like to see some videos on nature, and I found these interesting things about elephants. When an elephant caravan is going, and the last elephant stops, then the first one knows the last one is stopped, but there is no sound. Nobody has heard anything, there is nothing which is trumpeted, nobody can understand how that happens, that when the last one, who is not seen by the first one, stops, the first one gets to know. So they say that elephants communicate in a different vibration of sound, which we cannot hear. It's the naad of life, existing everywhere. Maharaj seems to know this naad. Someone is singing beautifully, intensely. It's a naad. The sound, they say, has different aspects. One is the vakri, what we say. Then he says madma, pashyanti and para. So they have structured sound as we speak it, that the moment it comes to mind, then it comes to the form, then we say it. So before we have said it, sound has a form, para. The nads of life, the vibrations of life. A bee humming next to a flower is the naad of life. Whatever we see, whatever we know, whatever we hear, or we don't hear, there is a naad existing in creation. The astronomers say that there is a sound in all creation, which is like the feedback from the Big Bang. They have recorded it also. That's the naad of creation. Maharaj says the creator exists in the naad, Gurmukh Nadang. All the nads of the creation are the creator himself. The Ved are the awareness of life, the knowledge of life, the different forms of it. When we see something, we become aware of it. We have experienced it. All this knowledge, experienced or unexperienced in creation, is the creator himself. Gurmukh Nadang, Gurmukh Vedang. And in all this creation, Gurmukh Reha Samai. He himself resides in this creation. This is the point I'm trying to bring across, that Guru Nanak has an intense one-to-one relationship with the Creator, and he is seeing him everywhere, feeling him everywhere, hearing him everywhere. And he lives him everywhere. Gurmukh Nadang, Gurmukh Vedan, Gurmukh Reha Samai. And here in this entire creation, the Creator himself is existing. He is resting here in creation, just where we think he is not. So he says all these different other forms we think to be, Gur Isar, Gur Gorak, Burma Gur, Parvati Mai. People have given different forms. Guru Nanak says there's only one form I know, the Creator himself. He is saying Shiv, because in the Trinity they talk about the three, Brahm, Vishnu, Shiv. Gur Isar, Gur Gorak, Burma Gur. He says the Trinity is only him, there is none other. This is all the Creator himself. This is all the rejoicing Anand of the creation itself, where only He is. And through Him everything is. Gur Parvati Mai, and people call Him the female spirituality, the female idol, the female deity. He says, I see only one. Gurmukh Nadan, Gurmukh Vedan, Gurmukh Reha Samai, Gur Isar, Gur Gorak Barma Gur, Parvati Mai. Now He reveals something about Himself. Jai ho jana, aankha nahi. If I know, I cannot say it. Kehna kathan na jai. This is a satori, a sort of aha moment in Shabad. Jai ho jana, aankha nahi. Emergence of him with his Guru, with his Creator. Jai ho jana, aankha nahi. Kehna kathan na jai. I cannot say. It's beyond verbal communication. Then he says out a prayer. Gura ik de bujai, sabna jiyan ka ik data, so mein visar na jai. All Creator is one. Let me rest in the awareness of that. Let me not be separated from this awareness. Sabna jiyan ka ek data, so mein visar na jai. Gura ek de bujai, sabna jiyan ka ek data, so mein visar na jai. Yesterday was Guru Nanak Sahib's Gurpurab. We get so many communications on WhatsApp, verbal. But what is the way of celebrating Guru Nanak? He himself says that what seva does he want? He says Simran is the seva. Awareness and living his Shabad is his seva. And this is the way I transform myself to be able to live in that awareness. Because my mind is gross, it's not subtle, it's not been cleansed to live in that realm. So to prepare for that, to live that is the awareness of life which celebrates Guru Nanak's presence. Guru is not gone anywhere. It's a very limited vision if we look at Guru as a physical being. Guru was born in a physical form and his physical form went away. But his presence is samagaya, is already embedded in with the Creator. So in that way, Guru Nanak exists everywhere. To be in a dhyan of his Shabad is to live his experience, to live his presence. That's the way, in my perception, we live his Gurpurab. Gura ek de bujai, sabna jiyan ka ek data, so mein visar na jai. The fifth body, I would like to conclude here. If any of you would like to say something, ask something, you're most welcome. We look for more such sessions where we can contemplate on the Shabad and improve ourselves as we go along by living the Shabad. This is where we will find all our solutions. We do the Sukhmani tomorrow. Guru Arjan is constantly telling us about this, that all our solutions are in Naam. So the Guru is constantly nurturing us, inspiring us, motivating us to go into the Shabad, go into Naam Simran and find the Guru there. With these words, I would like to end today's session. If Indrajit, somebody can say the Anand Sahib, we can make it live. I have recordings, but I would prefer if somebody can say it live. And we can just send it on all the 3 platforms. Is it possible, Indrajit?
जी बेनती कर लेने संगत को
जी
मनदीप कौर जी आप जी करोगे अनंत साहब जी 6 पौड़ी दा
I will just check. Gursimran, is the video going to the 3 platforms, the Zoom audio? Vaheguru? Vaheguru? I think we can start.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਰਾਮ ਕਲੀ ਮਹਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਆਨੰਦ ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਆਨੰਦ ਭਇਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਏ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰਤਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਸਹਿਜ ਸੇਤੀ ਮਨ ਵਜੀਆਂ ਵਾਧਾਈਆਂ। ਰਾਗ ਰਤਨ ਪਰਵਾਰ ਪਰੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗਾਵਣ ਆਈਆਂ। ਸਭ ਦੋਤ ਗਾਵੋ ਹਰੀ ਕੇਰਾ ਮਨ ਜਿਨੀ ਵਸਾਇਆ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੋਆ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ। ਏ ਮਨ ਮੇਰਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲੇ। ਹਰ ਨਾਲ ਰਹੋ ਤੂੰ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸਭ ਵਿਸਾਰਨਾ। ਅੰਗੀਕਾਰੋ ਕਰੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਭ ਸਵਾਰਨਾ। ਸਭਨਾ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਸੁਆਮੀ ਸੋ ਕਿਉ ਮਨੋ ਵਿਸਾਰੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲੇ। ਸਾਚੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਾ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰੇ। ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਦੇਹ ਸੋ ਪਾਵੇ। ਸਦਾ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਲਾਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਮਨ ਵਸਾਵੇ। ਨਾਮ ਜਿਨ ਕੈ ਮਨ ਵਸਿਆ ਵਾਜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਨੇਰੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰੇ। ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ। ਸਾਚ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਨ ਭੁੱਖਾਂ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਈਆਂ। ਕਰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸੁਖ ਮਨ ਆਏ ਵਸਿਆ ਜਿਨ ਇੱਛਾ ਸਭ ਪੁਜਾਈਆਂ। ਸਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਟੋ ਜਿਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਹ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣੋ ਸੰਤੋ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਧਰੋ ਪਿਆਰੋ। ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ। ਵਾਜੇ ਪੰਚ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਿਤ ਘਰ ਸਭਾਗੈ। ਘਰ ਸਭਾਗੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਾਜੇ ਕਲਾ ਜਿਤ ਕਰ ਧਾਰਿਆ। ਪੰਚ ਦੂਤ ਤੁਧ ਵਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰਿਆ। ਤੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੁਧ ਜਿਨ ਕੋ ਸੇ ਨਾਮ ਹਰ ਕੇ ਲਾਗੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੈ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਆ ਤਿਤ ਘਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਵਾਜੇ। ਅਨੰਦ ਸੁਣੋ ਵਡ ਭਾਗਿਓ ਸਗਲ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਪੂਰੇ। ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਾਇਆ ਉਤਰੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਿਸੂਰੇ। ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ। ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਭਏ ਸਰਸੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ। ਸੁਣਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਿਤੇ ਪਵਿੱਤ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਹਿਆ ਭਰਪੂਰੇ। ਬਿਨਵੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਤੂਰੇ। ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹਤ। ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੁਇ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੇ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ। ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਿਆਈਆਂ ਵਾਚੈ ਧਰਮ ਹਦੂਰ, ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮਸਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮਸਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ।